So you're hearing these reports this morning of Gerhard Schröder potentially mediating between Ukraine and Russia. Would you trust him?
Well, I want to begin in another end. I think the main problem is that Russia is not really interested in peace. They are trying different maneuvers, but we need to keep our focus where it needs to be, and that is on increasing the pressure on Russia and increasing the support for Ukraine. So there's a lot more to be done, and these are things that will be discussed today.
But yet Antonio Costa has been saying recently that it is perhaps time to talk to Russia. We're hearing names floated like Emmanuel Macron or Giorgia Meloni or Pedro Sanchez. Which person would you like to see?
I'm not there yet. I think that sooner or later we will have to talk to Moscow, but since Putin is not really interested in any serious peace talks, then I think we should, like I said, focus on changing the calculus to make him interested in that. And then we will have a discussion about how the forms...
How do you change the calculus? That's the question.
Yes. So we need to increase the pressure on Russia. There is a lot more to be done on sanctions. I need to see the full service maritime ban, and that is something that should be in a 21st sanctions package. And then we need to increase the support for Ukraine. I'm very pleased that we agreed upon the 90 billion euro loan, but this cannot be an excuse to do less bilaterally. So we need to continue to support Ukraine bilaterally and then add those 90 billions. Then that will make Ukraine a lot stronger. And we see how Russia is getting weaker and weaker, having problems recruiting new soldiers. And look at the big victory day. That was a very small victory day with no display of military hardware because the Kremlin was afraid of Ukrainian drones.
And just bring us inside the council meeting today. How has the mood changed with the new government in Hungary and a new Hungarian foreign minister, Anita Orban? She won't be there today physically because she's having her hearing. But of course, will things change now when it comes to Ukraine?
Well, I think there are a lot of more smiles in the room nowadays, and better possibilities for Europe to be stronger and to act more swiftly, which is absolutely necessary, not only to help Ukraine, but also to make sure that the EU becomes a stronger Europolitical player, geopolitical player. And yes, I'm very hopeful that with the new Hungarian government, we will be able to make those decisions that are absolutely needed for Ukraine. But we'll see what happens in Bulgaria.
And on your plates, of course, today, the diplomatic deadlock between the US and Iran. It feels sometimes like the EU is just staring at the Strait of Hormuz with absolutely no say in the matter and just hoping the problem will go away.
Well, we are preparing for the next phase. So once we have a lasting ceasefire or a peace, then that is the time when Europe should bring assets and make sure that we keep the strait open, because that is so important for international trade and also for our growth. But we are not going to enter this war during these circumstances, but we are preparing, and that is very important because we want to contribute.
You want to contribute. And of course, you're opening a spy agency, I believe, in Sweden as a reaction to the full-scale war in Ukraine. Tell us about that. And do you have the voters on board, given this year you have big elections as well in Sweden?
We have big elections. There is going to be a vote this summer on the new agency. I am convinced that this is something that should have been done a long time ago. We are now members of NATO. We align ourselves much more with the services of other countries. We need to develop technology a lot more, become better at looking into open source intelligence, and all of that is on the plate of the new agency.
And on those elections taking place, Israel-Sweden relations will also play a big role. We know that Sweden did recognise the state of Palestine, but this decision could be reversed. Which camp are you in here?
No, I think that we should not reverse that. I mean, we made our decision, and people should be able to trust our decisions when it comes to foreign policy. So I don't see that there will be a change in that regard. However, I see the necessity to put more pressure on Israel because we are so worried about the development in Gaza. Not a lot focus there right now because there is so much going on in the rest of the world, but the situation is still horrible for people living there, and the situation on the West Bank is deteriorating. So we need to put more pressure on it.
And today you could sign off on sanctions on violent settlers in Israel.
I hope we will be able to do that, but we should also move forward with sanctions on extremist ministers in the Israeli government.
Okay, Minister, a lot, of course, on your plates today at that foreign ministers' meeting. As always, thank you so much for coming in to us.